animals to an Easter egg hunt. This is so cute. Check this out. The zoo's orangutans got these giant papier-mâché eggs filled with holiday treats. Zookeepers stuffed the eggs with cereal, seeds, nuts, lettuce, fruits, and veggies, and the animals, as you can see, happily dug right in for their. And Miss Kim, you were out there this morning at the zoo. It looks like it was a lot of fun. And great weather for it, too. All in all, we've had a pretty amazing Easter weekend. The weather's been a little on the warm side, but just warm enough to get out by the pool, maybe fire up the grill this evening. Take a look at this time lapse. This is from Desert Botanical Gardens. We started off with clear sky. Then we had some high thin cirrus clouds that moved in for late in the afternoon. All in all, temperatures are still pretty warm, so that cloud cover didn't really do a whole lot to take the edge off the heat. We're sitting at 86 right now in Queen Creek, 88 degrees in Gilbert, 86 in Mesa. So we take a look at Tempe and Chandler. You're checking in at 86 at this hour, 88 in Ahwatukee, downtown Phoenix, 87 degrees. And over on the west side, 87 in Peoria.
With brand new love at exceptional.
360 scanning the skies, just a lot of high thin cirrus cloud cover out there, but we are tracking this area of low pressure that's just offshore across the Pacific Northwest. This is going to help change our weather pattern in the coming days. It's going to push this ridge of high pressure off towards the east and drag that jet stream down south. That's going to help kick up our winds from the southwest. It's also going to usher in some cooler air. It is not going to
made with Jenny O ground turkey
from time to time. Otherwise, we are going to stay dry. That rain is going to stay off in California, Oregon, and Washington. We do have red flag warnings in effect Monday and Tuesday because of some very gusty winds. We are forecasting wind gusts of up to 45 miles per hour for these areas shaded in magenta. Also, that humidity down to about 7%. So even the smallest spark could.
Kentucky.
Yeah, those rains causing flooding in a lot of different areas of that state. More than 100
east of Flagstaff along Interstate 40, so keep that in mind if your travels take you in that direction. Wind speeds headed off into this evening are going to die down through tomorrow morning. And
killed when a tree limb fell on her tent about 30 miles north of there, the campground where her family.
Tomorrow is opening day at Chase Field, and weather should be a little bit
is in the forecast.
Your exclusive AccuWeather forecast with Christy Siefkin on Fox 10 News.
This is a time in the month that the southern plains in particular really start to see an increased threat of tornadoes, and we have lots of activity out there tonight. Gusty winds, rain, thunderstorm activity. A little bit calmer, of course, though, here in Arizona. Looking at pretty sunny conditions out there. A little bit of a hazy shot for you here on our tower cam. But all in all, what we're seeing is another breezy day, another dry, warm and dry weather for the next several days. So let's zoom in, take a look at that weather picture. High pressure is what we've been watching with those above average temperatures. But in fact, we're going to see the next few
as we head off into next weekend. Breezy winds from time to time, almost. We're seeing sustained gusts anywhere in the 20s and 30s across the state. 36 miles an hour in the Grand Canyon, 29-mile-an-hour gusts in Winslow, 30-mile-an-hour gusts in St. John's, and down into Tucson, you're still seeing some pretty active weather there as well. So taking a look at our sat rad, you'll notice that conditions are pretty mild, but we're going to see a low pressure making its way into the state, and with that, those winds increasing particularly tomorrow afternoon into the evening and into your Tuesday as well. That's when we have those advisories and warnings in place. Now, number-wise, warmer across those lower deserts tonight. We're looking at upper 70s in Globe, 84 for Yuma, 74 for Kingman, and 83 for Safford, 75 up into Page, and looking at 71 for Winslow. And then in the valley, numbers in the 80s across the boards. This is above average. We should be low 80s, creeping up toward those mid 80s, but still in the upper in some spots. Sky Harbor 87, just below that at Chandler and at Goodyear, both registering 86 degrees at this hour. Buckeye 82, Deer Valley 82 degrees as well. Start of the month in April, once again, low 80s, kind of as we're making our way into the warmer season. 89 today. We didn't quite make it to the 90-degree mark, but back in 1989 when we set our record, not only did we make it to 90, we made it to another 8 degrees above that, 98. So close to the century mark for our record-setting day. Didn't get there today, and the next several days, if you're a little bit tired of these warmer numbers, the good news is we're not going to be quite as warm. So numbers maybe a couple degrees above the seasonal norm to start your work week. A little bit of a cool down as we get into your Tuesday and Wednesday. This is when we start to see a series of systems
moving out of the Pacific Northwest into the Great Basin and then eventually right here in Arizona. So that increased fire danger during that period, in addition to cooler temperatures, more cloud cover, not as much sunshine, into the upper 70s potentially by the middle of the week. So a little bit of relief before we start to see those numbers back on up into the 80s. Now we're talking about the threat of tornadoes, flash floods, really severe weather to the southeast. Well, you can see a lot of that activity right now making its way through parts of eastern Texas into Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama. And as you saw in those pictures a little bit earlier, just devastation for that area. And we're just at the start of what's a really active tornado season. Going to be a soggy day around the country for most people, but for us tomorrow, things will look pretty nice. Tonight, 41 Kingman, 48 Safford, and 35 for Winslow. And then into tomorrow, mid-60s for Prescott, 84 for Casa Grande. We'll see 63 for Show Low, 66 for Window Rock. Tonight, looking at mostly clear conditions out there. Should be a really nice evening, cooling down into those upper 50s. Mid-80s expected for tomorrow. And then it looks like as we get into the end of your work week, we should actually be sitting right where we ought to be for this time of year, right in those low 80s.
That 77 looks particularly sweet to me, though.
Anytime you see the 7, I think the past couple of weeks you grabbed onto it and fixated. So
I have.
I'm glad you didn't see that 115 I had on there, Linda.
No, I'm like...
I stuck that by you.
Right.
Yes, you did. Keep sneaking it by. I don't want to see it.
We focused on that 77 and missed everything else.
That's okay.
Right.
Focus on the positive.
All
I
right.
like it.
Looks good, Christy. Thank you.
You're welcome, guys.
Workers at a popular fast food chain